Thank you.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
How are you doing? Good afternoon in Barcelona. I don't know where you are.
Good afternoon.
But good morning,
Good
perhaps.
morning.
So we're here to talk about this beauty right here, the Windmiller Preamp, which is on Kickstarter. You probably know. And what can I say? It's amazing.
Yes,
Isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, and it's not similar to this one, but it's on the
Well,
same.
it's similar in its sound.
Yes,
actually.
yes, exactly. So
And you also have the blinking.
yeah, it's not blinking right now, but it will blink if you plug it. So Marcel, do you have any words about the history of this pedal?
Yeah. What do you want to know?
Everything.
Okay, so it started. Remember when I was talking about that concert of the Who?
Yeah.
In the famous venue in the Marquee Club.
Yes.
I noticed this thing on top of Pete Townsend head amplifier, the high watt or Marshall.
I think it was a Marcel.
Probably, yeah. And I said, what's that? That's quite weird. It's not like the common thing you see in a rig.
Yes.
In those days or nowadays. So I think I phoned you and said,
Yeah.
Marc, do you know anything about it?
Yes.
What did you say? I don't remember now.
I don't know what you said, but I think you sent me a link on YouTube because there was the full live on the Marquee Club of the Who, and and there was this phenomenal thing with the blinking light, which caught my attention too. And then you did a little bit of research. We found out that it was the Grampian 626 Spring Reverb, but
made in the UK in the early 60s.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think in 1963
they started.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I think so, yeah.
But there was no reverb on the live on the guitar tone of Pete Townsend.
No.
So we guessed that Pete Townsend used this unit as a preamp, and then on further investigation we found that he used this knob, the aux channel volume, to overdrive his amplifier, so he got that cool tone. Yeah,
you know that actually Pete Townsend was quite important in all this field about amplifiers, and he was like opening a new ground about this powerful sound. In fact, did you know that he talked to Jimi Hendrix, because Hendrix, when he came to England,
he gave him some advice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this rock sound that we know, like the powerful Hendrix type of sound, it has a lot to do with Pete Townsend, because he introduced Hendrix the Marshall amplifiers. I think I remember that Pete Townsend said something like that. He introduced to Song City or High Watt and also Marshall, but Jimmy went for Marshall.
Stick with Marshall.
And nowadays is so popular.
So there's some comments.
Right. Yeah.
Hi, Ohio. How are you doing?
Hey, Jordi.
Hi,
Marta.
Jordi. Hi, Marta.
Greetings from Ohio.
So when we found out that it was this thing, we started to search on the internet for some information, and we found out that it was a rare piece. There were made a lot of them, and we tried to get one, and it was very hard. But finally, looking on the internet, we found out, I think it was on Reverb. Well, it's a Reverb, but on Reverb.com. You found this unit?
No, not really. No. Right now, I don't remember exactly, but I think it was an English collector, an English guy who collects like celebrities' piece of equipment. Yes.
And how did you find that guy?
Well, Googling, I guess. Yeah, not by Facebook or Instagram. I think just by Google. Yeah.
Well, that guy told us, we can confirm that this exact unit, was property of Pete Townsend.
Yeah.
We can assure that, but
yeah, but I believe it.
Yeah, well,
you don't.
I'd like to believe that fantasy.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's it's the
yeah.
same unit as Pete Townsend used. We have more comments.
Yeah.
Hi Apple Valley, how you doing?
Hey, that's
Thanks
great.
for sharing my voicemail. You're welcome, man.
Marc Rivers, Murcia.
Hello, Murcia.
Andy.
Hi David. Hi Andy. I think I have to buy glasses because I can see from here.
Yeah, I do have glasses.
So yeah, we bought this one. We paid like a zillion euros for it. It wasn't cheap. It wasn't cheap. It didn't come cheap, but it was worth it. It's funny
because maybe 10 years ago you could have found it really, really.
Yeah, they were like rubbish. No one wanted that. But right now, nowadays, with reverb and vintage fever, everything, every price, every piece of gear.
You know that apart from Pete Townsend, there were other celebrities using it, but for the reverb.
Yeah, some guys in the reggae scene.
Lee Perry, in the reggae dub scene, and he was using it a lot.
But he is the reverb. Not the preamp.
Exactly. Not exactly as a preamp, but as a reverb. And you know that this is a question that we got asked a lot. Yes.
Just to make clear, the Windmiller preamp, if you can see, it has the same knob layout as the original unit, but just, as an aesthetic function. But this one, it has only the gain knob, which is the same as this one, the aux channel volume. It has a high cut control right there, and a low cut control. So there's no reverb.
And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, first of all,
I want to know.
Okay. First of all, it's impossible to put a reverb tank inside this enclosure because this unit, it has this size because of the reverb tank. It has springs on it. This is what creates the reverb effect. So if you wanted to do this pedal analog, we had to put a reverb tank, and obviously it doesn't fit, as you can see, comparing the two dimensions.
But apart from that, I think we were really interested in the preamp effect.
Yes.
The way that interact with the amplifier.
Yes, that's what we wanted to do. When we got the original unit, we tried it, and we found out one day that putting a buffer between the guitar and the grampian changed a lot its tone, its behavior, and that's because it's primitive technology. The design, it wasn't meant to plug a guitar. It was meant to plug line signals. So it has a very low input impedance, and that interacts a lot with the guitar signal and creates a unique tone. Like Pete Townsend's one.
Yeah.
So we wanted to recreate that. In fact, one tip for the lucky winners or buyers of this pedal is that the Windmiller has to be plugged straight to your guitar. No pedal between the guitar and the Windmiller. Well, you can do it, but it will change the behavior of the pedal or the tone, not the behavior. Obviously, it's a boost and it has a gain knob, and it will act as
straight to the guitar, not the.
Well, you can do it in both ways.
Not the oven or the washing machine.
No. Just to make sure. Yes. We have more questions.
Yeah, I've seen a nice comment here. Just to let you know that I love the Forgotten Artifact jingle. It will fit one who's up. Well, thank you.
Thank you very much. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we were trying to do that. I personally love that. It's one of my favorite records, actually, the Who's Allowed and all this jingle thing.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool.
We have another question. Is the original unit solid state or tube based? That's another interesting question because there were two versions, the tube one and the solid state. And this is solid state. And it was the one that Pete Townsend used. This one has germanium transistors. Obviously, our Windmiller doesn't have germanium. It has silicon transistors. But I can assure you that it sounds exactly the same. And in fact, we improved the signal to noise ratio a lot because the original unit, it's really noisy. It's not meant to plug a guitar on it. It's meant to plug line signals. So what else? I missed the beginning. What is the name of the unit used by Pete? Grampian 636. What type? 626, yeah, really good.
Well, you have the name here.
Yeah, perhaps you can read.
Grampian. And I think the model, where is
There, there.
Yeah. Have a look. It's really cool.
Yeah. More questions? No more questions.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a preamp and it's a booster.
It's a preamp booster.
It's a preamp booster. That's what we say on the jingle. So, what's the difference between a preamp and a booster? A preamp, it's a circuit that adds gain, so it puts up more volume than the original singer, and also it changes the tone. So a booster, on paper, let's say, it's a circuit that adds volume, but it does not change the tone. It's a clean circuit. It doesn't add this, this particular flavor. So if you put the guitar straight to the Windmiller, you'll get the coloring, the flavoring, whatever you say. And if you plug the guitar after a buffer into the Windmiller, it will react as a booster in a more clean fashion, with no coloring. Obviously, you have the EQ, the high and low cut knobs, which help you shape the tone, but it will react, in a more linear fashion, and that's interesting because you have two effects in one.
I'd like to say that these days I'm using it with a Box AC30. Because I was lucky. I have just found one 60s one, really cool. But you mentioned that you're playing bass. You're using it as a bass, and it really works.
Yes, you can use it with bass, definitely, because the original unit wasn't meant for guitar, for any kind of filtering. It was meant to use with audio signals for studio use. So yeah, it has a lot of low end, and of course. Again, you can shape the tone with those two knobs. So if there's a lot of gain, you can use the low cut, and if there's a lot of treble, you can use the high cut. It's very useful, very useful.
And we have to say that there is this Kickstarter campaign going on.
Yes.
We are about 8 days to finish.
There's 7 days left.
7 days
left.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, please, if you like this project, give us a little bit of love. It would mean
and perhaps consider to back it.
And if we succeed, Marc or maybe me will reproduce that
iconic
picture of Roger Daltrey having a baked beans bath.
Yeah.
And
tasty bath.
We'll do it. We'll do it if we succeed.
Yeah.
Right. How do you like that?
Sorry?
The baked beans bath.
Well, it's not on my wet dreams.
No?
No.
Well, it's actually quite wet.
Yeah, but it's not, I don't know the word in English, whatever, but I don't want to do it.
Hello for me.
Hi.
Hi.
I really want this campaign to fun. Looks like a great pedal. Thank you, Chris. Thank you very much. Your Kickstarter is in pounds. Do you have a US dollar conversion? Yes, we've got US dollar conversion. I think it's like 300 something. I don't know. I'll check it out. Yeah, I don't know.
Another cool thing on this campaign is that you can also get the Dr. Rubber pedal.
Yeah.
With a 10% discount.
Yes, it's an amazing pedal too.
Yeah.
If you love the Beatles. Which you're probably...
even if you don't, I mean, you should love the Beatles, because if you don't, maybe you have a problem. But even if you don't love the Beatles, for example, Led Zeppelin or Joy Division, it's funny because they use the same amplifier.
Yes. In fact, I saw a picture the other day of New Order playing live with the Vox UL. I don't know which model. Perhaps it's...
I think it's the same.
730?
730. Yeah.
I don't know. I think I saw 2 power tubes. So perhaps it's a UL 715.
Yeah, but
the preamp is the same. So if you love New Order, if you love Joy Division, if you love Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, the sound is exactly the same because the preamp of the UL series were exactly the same. 3-band EQ with the volume, blah blah blah.
And even if you don't love any of these bands, we think it's a quite useful pedal because it provides a different color.
And they make a really good pair. Yeah, we tried both together, and it sounds amazing. And then with the other design of our company, the Cinnamon Drive, this looks like a company advert for our pedal lineup. There's another question.
Yeah.
Best breakup with your classic guitars. Thank you very much. It sounds brilliant in the videos. You mentioned that it has to be the first in chain. Is it buffered? Well, it's not buffered on the input, but you get a buffered output of it. So you can use it as a buffer also. So you get this preamp tone, and also you get the buffered output. So yeah. Will it affect the temperamental foot that also likes to be first in chain? It's not the same. The fuzzes, they have also very low input impedance. For example, the fuzz phase and some tone benders, and you'll get a thinner tone out of them if you put a buffer in front of them. But in the case of the Windmiller, you get the best of two worlds. You get clean and linear booster if you put a buffer in front of it, and you get the coloring if you put the guitar straight to it. It's really interesting. The Arturo is an amazing sounding pedal. T-shirt is cool, bro. A tune. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
So
would be great if you guys have any more questions.
So, well, I've got a minion who told me that you should check on the Kickstarter web, because depending on your country, the price will be shown on your currency. So check it again on Kickstarter, because probably it will show in dollars. Yes. So more questions.
What else?
What else? What else about the Windmiller? So the graphics.
Yeah, we can talk
the
about
graphics. You can see it better. Well, you can check the Kickstarter pictures. They're in high resolution there. The graphics are based on advert that was posted on London walls in the 60s of the Marquee Club. If you missed the intro of this live, we told that all this project started with a live session of The Who playing at the Marquee Club, which was a venue in London of many of the 60s English bands played. And they had this cool advert, perhaps on the Kickstarter there's some picture of it, with a map. There was a map with the location of the club, which is reproduced there. Perhaps there's not a lot of definition to see. And we wanted to pay tribute to the original unit with this knob layout, the same as the Grampian. We wanted to pay tribute to Pete Townshend with the Windmiller name, so you can guess why the name is called like that. And we wanted
to the venue too, because the venue was really important. And of course, not only for the Who, but probably for the Who was important because it was like the second well-known venue in London. They got really huge there.
And many bands like Yes, they did a lot of gigs there. Residents. They met at residents there, perhaps. And I don't know. Many of the bands, King Crimson.
But you're talking probably late 60s, early 70s. Also the Yardbirds, the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, that's happening. You name it. You name it. So how is it powered? DC or battery? Only DC. It works only with the power supply because the LED, it takes a lot of current when it's light up. If you play with the gain all the way up, it's light up all the time. And also it's kind of an environmental thing. Batteries, they put a lot of pollution on the environment. So, and I don't know, like 90% of people use a DC power supply. So it didn't make sense for us. What's the preferred optimum power for the Windmiller? 9 volts, 9 volts. In fact, you cannot use any other power supply that it's not 9 volts because you'll fry the pedal, especially if you use something, power above.
Subro Pontes, excited to get myself one. I use the Dr. Robert as an always-on pedal, and I absolutely love it. Thank you very much.
And you like the Windmiller too?
Yeah.
US conversion is $320.
You know one thing, Marc, I'm using it these days, and I like it just a little bit with my rig and for my thing. I use like this, but I don't normally use it more than half. But what about like this, like at 11? It's
At 11,
What would you
it's
say?
11 times better.
Yeah.
Well, if you use it with the gain all the way up, you'll use it a la Pete Townsend, because he used the Grampian to overdrive more his amplifiers. But if you use it with the gain like at 6 or 7, no, you're gonna use it at 6, at 7 or 8 o'clock, it will add some gain, but also, you know, this particular color, I can't describe it, but it's really interesting, especially on bass. I'm a bass player, so I explore more the tones with bass.
Yeah.
And and what EQ do you use? Because normal EQ would be like this one.
It depends. If I'm playing some guitar, some Strat, I would use it like this with a Stratocaster, and with humbuckers, a little bit less
low. So a bit of low cut.
Yeah, and I think that this is really useful. I have to tell you this because that was your idea totally, and this is really useful. Yeah, because the original one is really cool. I mean, the tone is amazing.
Yeah, but it does not have the EQ, and in fact, the original unit, it has kind of a dark tone. So if you play with singles, it's amazing. It sounds really cool. But if you play with humbuckers, it's just like muddy. So we wanted to raise up the treble response and put the high cut control to make it closer to the original Grampian. So if you want to sound like the Grampian, you have to put the knobs around this, the low cut all the way down and the high cut like at 10 o'clock almost. Yes. More questions. Britain's Got Talent is the way to go. See Kickstarter. Thank you. Do you use the Dr. Robin Windmiller Preamp as first pedal in the chain on your pedal board before compressor or after? The Windmiller, I would recommend you to use the Windmiller the first on the FX chain, and the Dr. Robin before the modulation. So yes, after the compressor.
Yeah, and another thing we should say is that if you want to know more about the pedal, you can check out the other videos we have in our YouTube channel, because we can explain a bit more. Yeah.
So when is the anticipated shipping date for the pedals, and when will usual dealers have stock? I cannot answer this question, but we have to wait for the Kickstarter to end, and then we'll talk about release dates and availability. We're working on getting the units produced because we hope that the Kickstarter ends well and we reach our goal. So
that would be great.
Yeah. We hope so. And just a second.
Here's another question.
My minion is telling me that if we reach the goal, the pedals will ship immediately. So I will not sleep to make your pedals.
Are there any plans to get one of these Pete Townsend to Pete Townsend to solicit his reaction?
We are working on this. We are working on this. Well, perhaps it's a secret, but we are going to reveal it.
So now it's not a secret.
Yeah, now it's not. Well, it's a secret right now.
Yeah,
but it's going not to be in a few seconds.
We have sent.
Yeah, we sent 4 units to Pete Townsend. In fact, to his guitar tech, Simon Law, who's a great guitar builder. He has a company called SVL Guitars. You should check them out. And we send 1 unit for each of his studios, and we hope a reaction for him. And we hope
from Simon too.
And from Simon too.
That would be great.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate your love in what you do. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you.
So we hope that Pete Townsend likes the unit and brings back some memories for him. And well, in fact,
what do you think about it?
Well, my hope is that he likes it. Obviously, but I don't know. I don't want to polarize me. But there's another artist who we have sent one. There's John Karen. He's a guitar player and a keyboard player for Pink Floyd, and I think he played with Pete Townsend too.
I think they are related to.
Yeah, they play together. So John Carin is a session musician, and he played live with Pink Floyd and David Gilmour. He has one too, and we are waiting for his reaction.
Also, Steve Craddock from Ocean Color Scene, and he's a guitar player with Paul Weller.
Both of them have the Dr. Robert too, and they love it. So more things to tell. Do you have any more questions? We want questions.
More questions, please.
More things about the Windmiller. So if someone has asked why there's these holes on the side and these screws, those are for the Smart Track fastening system. We also manufacture pedal boards, which they have a special. Just a second.
That's a new one.
We make these pedal boards. This is a limited edition in surf green color, and we designed the pedal enclosure to fit our pedal board system, so you don't have to put Velcro on the pedal. So it had these two thumb screws on the sides, and you attach the pedal like this, and you don't have to put Velcro on it. And if someone wants to steal the pedal, he can, because he can take it out of the pedal board.
Steal the pedal board.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he can steal.
Please don't do that.
And more things about it. It has soft switching with a relay, which is really reliable, and you love it if you're playing in a quieter situation, which I don't think so with the Windmiller, because it makes everything louder. But just in case you're playing in your room,
I like to mention that I was trying it with a box organ the other day, and it sounds amazing too.
Yeah, in fact, I play with a guy, Edu.
Yeah, Edu Martinez.
Edu Martinez, who plays with a Vogue Jaguar, and he's using it with Vogue Jaguar. It sounds amazing. Does it have trim pots inside like the Dr. Robert? No. There's no trim pots inside the Windmiller pedal, but there's a cool Easter egg. Let me see. Just a second. Talk about.
Yeah, there's another question first. Are there any side-by-side audio comparisons between the Windmiller and the original unit? No, but that's a good idea. We can do that. We haven't done it yet, but we should. Shouldn't we, Marc? Marc is somewhere here. Yeah, but yeah, that could be a cool idea. Thank you for the homework. So we can do it soon. What else? What are you doing, Marc?
So there's no trim pots inside the Windmiller pedal, but we wanted to pay tribute to the Who also. So inside the pedal, you will not find any battery clip or anything, but you'll find this. Just a second.
Meanwhile, there's another question. Why is
there is a version 1 and version 2, Dr. Robert? There's a version 2 because we end up of the units of our first batch of Dr. Roberts, and using your feedback, we wanted to do some improvements on it. So we put soft relay switching, and we put a gain knob for the Max Shaw section. You can reach us to get your old or your version 1 Dr. Robert modified if you want. So here we go with the Easter egg. Just a second. So one and the other one.
What are you guys from, by the way?
We are from Barcelona, Spain.
Yeah.
Toros,
right now,
sangria,
say the same.
and Sagrada Familia. So
yeah, must be a version 2.
Sorry, I love the update.
The Netherlands.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Netherlands.
So
Kansas.
This is the Windmiller, and this is the Easter egg.
Oh.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, there's no room for battery, but we put
USA,
the home symbols or flag or I think this is the RAF logo.
Yes, it is.
So, and the arrow?
Yeah. Yes.
It's not any logo or something.
Not really, but it's something that the Who and the whole mood movement used a lot.
Yeah, you put this Easter egg inside the pedal because why not?
Why
not? More things about Windmiller.
It's so cool that we are talking to people from the USA, from the Netherlands.
What time is it in the USA?
Gracia district.
On East Coast and the West Coast. What other vintage-inspired pedals are you considering for the future? That's a nice question.
I'm not sure that we can talk about it.
But there's a lot of English guitar gods out there.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind that.
Right now, I think that the next pedals will be in the similar league of the Dr. Robert and the Windmiller. I would say that you never know in the future, but
but we love the 60s, and there's a lot of 60s stuff to be made, believe it or not. So the Windmiller, yes, the overload, that's another thing. The overload light, it doesn't indicate that the pedal is overloading, because it does not overload by itself. It's not an overdrive pedal. It overdrives things. But, it looks cool. It looks cool because the original unit had it, and that's what it got our attention when we saw the video on YouTube. And we wanted to put it.
This is also a common question. Like, is this an overdrive? Is a distortion pedal?
No, it's not a distortion or overdrive or fuzz pedal. It can make your amp or your following device, whether it's a fuzz pedal, an overdrive, a distortion, or a chorus pedal, whatever, you can overdrive it with it because it has a lot of headroom, and it does not create distortion. It only just boosts the signal. It makes your signal louder. But it doesn't saturate. It does not clip the signal. That's
it seems that it has been kind of difficult for some people to get that it's not a reverb or a distortion.
Yeah.
But I think there are other similar artifacts. Other brands doing similar things. Quite interesting.
In fact, this is kind of.
It's inspiring to you too.
Yeah, perhaps it's not the best to say, but when we were thinking about making our new pedal, and we found the history of the Grampian, we thought about the pedals like the EP Booster of Exotic and the Echoplex Preamp of MXR Dunlop, which are basically preamps of devices like the Echoplex, which is an echo machine.
Because it's one of the cool things of these kind of artifacts that along of the pedal, like things like the Echoplex, which is a really cool echo effect. It gives you a special color, and is what we liked of this actual Grampian reverb, the special color that gives you. Yeah,
so we wanted to make our own version without copying any other company, any other pedal company. And in fact, this is not a straight copy of the Grampian circuit because, as I mentioned before, the Grampian circuit, it wasn't meant for guitar. So we made it a little bit more guitar friendly. It's an adaptation, but we kept the spirit of the original circuit and the tone, definitely.
There's a question for you, Marc.
How do you get Klaus to do the artwork for the Dr. Robert? You send in an email and you pay him, and that's all. If both Dr. Robert and Windmiller are preamps, why do you need to put Windmiller as first pedal in the chain and the other before the modulation? Well, the Dr. Robert, it's not exactly a preamp. It has the preamp of the box UL 730 and a distortion section inside the circuit. So the Dr. Robert, it's meant to recreate the entire sound of a box UL 730 amplifier. And the Windmiller preamp, it's meant to saturate your amplifier. So if you put the Windmiller, before the Dr. Rubber pedal, you can make the Dr. Rubber distort more. Sorry for my English. You can get more saturation out of it. So it's not exactly. The Dr. Rubber is an overdrive pedal. It's not a preamp, but it has a preamp inside. So and you have to put the Windmiller at the first on the chain because of the low input impedance. So you want to get the coloring, that flavor that the Windmiller gives you. It needs to see the guitar pickup, right? It doesn't like to see a buffered signal. It sounds in a linear fashion if it sees a buffer signal.
Hey, hello, Montreal.
Thank you for your kind word, John. I'm working on my English. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so we would like to ask you if you like the.
You're welcome, Hester's
would be
music
great
videos.
if you can share it to your friends. Or
again,
your enemies, even your enemies.
Yeah. Perhaps you want your enemies to destroy your his preamps, his two preamps with a pedal, or you may want to get one of these to destroy your enemy's head as a weapon. So it might work too. It's not that heavy. It's like a pound. A pound is half a kilo almost, right? It's not that heavy, and because it doesn't have a battery inside, it's lighter. And
but you say so because you are powerful. You have powerful arms.
Not that much. Not that much.
Like,
yeah.
No, not really.
Not really. Yeah, it's a light unit. More things about it. Amps. Which amp is the best for the Windmiller? Every amp. You can make your amp sound different with it. That's really interesting. We tried it with.
No, please.
Sorry. We tried with many amps. We tried with Fenders, with Vox. You tried with Vox AC30.
And I have a friend who's actually using it with because I lent my pedal to him.
There's not that many Windmillers built around there. Yeah.
With a Gibson, an old Gibson, a 60s Gibson, and it's the perfect combination. And he's totally in love.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
many more questions. How similar are the Vox UL 730 and the Vox Conqueror? Why did you choose the 730 for the Dr. Robert? They are completely different animals. Completely different. The UL 730 has a tube power amp section, and the Vox Conqueror is full solid state.
You know what? I wouldn't say they are completely. I'm sorry.
Well, technically speaking, they're completely different animals. That's more accurate.
Yeah, no, but the curious thing about it is that the Vox UL 730 was made in the 66, and I think Conqueror was just 67, and was like the first Vox project that was totally solid state. And the interesting thing, historically speaking, about amplifiers is that the Vox UL 730 was hybrid, part solid state and part tube amplifiers, and I think it's what made this amplifier so curious. I mean, its tone, it really has to do with being a hybrid amplifier. And you know, when Vox introduced the Conqueror in 67, it seems that all the people went to the new thing, was a normal thing, and the Beatles did too, because the Beatles were I think interested to get the last thing.
So the tones are closer, huh?
I think so. Yeah, they have because in the Conqueror it has the
MRB
distortion,
and it has the MRB control.
Different filters for the distortion. In fact, there is brand pedal that is reproducing this.
The Magical Mystery Box from Castledine Electronics. It's a cool pedal. We got one around there.
Yes, somewhere here.
But they're quite different.
Yeah, I mean the distortion is quite different.
Yeah,
the tone I would say is kind of similar.
So tone-wise are Vox amplifiers, but they have their own flavors. And what it's really good about the Vauxhall 730 is the distortion, because it's created by saturation of the tubes, not by solid state circuitry. And
the way it behaves with the solid state part,
yeah,
it gives this special saturation.
Yeah.
And one of the cool things on the Conqueror too is being a solid state amplifier. To me, it still sounds really good, and I cannot say that with many solid state amplifiers.
No, well, back in the day, things were made better. That's what I think. Yeah. And especially the speakers, they share the same speakers. They shared either silver nickel or dual nickel Celestion speakers, and speakers are a great part of the tone of an amplifier.
Have the silver
speakers. Do you know the speakers on our Vauxhall 730? They are not dual nickel.
No, silver.
Silver.
Cool. Yeah, silver nickel.
I have a Fender Quad Reverb, nice amp. No harm on the front end, right? No harm. I was joking. You cannot break anything with the Windmiller preamp. But you can get a nice saturation. You can get a nice
your enemy's ears.
Yeah, you can destroy your enemy's ears with it. Well, you can destroy your enemy's ears with the Quad Reverb. No need of the Windmiller preamp. You're welcome, John. So, well, if there's no more questions, one more thing. If you want to hear the tone of the Windmiller, there's a section on our Kickstarter. Again, we encourage you to visit our Kickstarter and consider to back it and get a unit of this phenomenal thing right there. And there's some sound clips. You can check the sound clips, and so you can make you a better idea of how the Windmiller reacts with the guitar and what it sounds like.
Of course, the best thing to get the best idea of how it sounds is to get one. So
yeah. I have to say, and that's a personal opinion, that you can see a demo with it for Premier Guitar on the internet. I think it's posted on YouTube, uploaded, or I don't know the exact word. And I think you cannot get the best idea of what the Windmiller does, because we used the Marcel, the JTM 45, which is an amplifier that saturates like really quick, even at low volumes, and you cannot make yourself a good idea of how the Windmiller changes your tone. So if you're not backing this project, which is totally fine, we encourage you, if you reach our goal, to go to a shop and try the Windmiller by yourself, and you will find out that it does something to your tone. It's very special. So I cannot describe it with words, but it makes your guitar sound cooler, and you know, when you get saturation out of it, it sounds like Pete Townsend. It's amazing. And there's also they are telling me that there's a demo on Tonepedia. Tonepedia is a website that lets you hear some pedals and mess with the knobs and try with different amplifiers and guitars. So you can try it, or you can hear it there. But again, I recommend you that if you reach our goal and finally the pedal gets into the shops, let's cross our fingers that this happens. I encourage you to try it by yourself and with your guitar. Yes. You're welcome, John Hunter. You're welcome, JTS 3333.
Thank you for your time too, for being
thank
there.
You for your time.
Thanks a lot for us. Really.
So again, visit the Kickstarter, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.